And at this time, I invite all of our kids to kind of perk up in their seats. Again, I want to remind you that following our children's sermon, we have a nursery available if that's what works for you and your family, although children are always welcome to stay and worship here. And that reminder that next week, again, we'll invite the kids to come forward if they want, if you want, to gather together up front for the children's moment, or they can stay in their seats, perk up, stand up, any of that. So I wanted to ask, have any of you ever been to the zoo? Have you been to the zoo, Miles? Yeah? Okay, so here you get to live in the same city as a zoo, but where I grew up, we had to drive a long way to get to the zoo. So it was a really big deal, very exciting. Now, is there an animal you like to see at the zoo? Yeah? What animal do you like to see? An elephant? That is pretty cool. If Adam was here, I would make him do the elephant noise, but I'm no good at it. So instead, we just have them move. So there's some pretty awesome animals at the zoo. MR, is there an animal you like to see at the zoo? What do you like to see? Chris, yell that one out for me. Oh, a giraffe. I like that. Yeah, those long necks, super awesome. So I really like to see the lions. And what sound does a lion make? Sound. That's right. And when you do that, you can see your teeth. And now I'm thinking, if we're at the zoo and we're like, these lions look pretty cool, do you think the zookeeper is going to let us in the lion den with them so we can like pet them? No, why not? Because they could hurt us. Yeah, they're fierce. They got those teeth. Ooh, that could be bad news. But today's story, it's about a man named Daniel. It maybe is a story you already know, but Daniel spent the whole night in the den with the lions. It's pretty scary. And see, Daniel, he had this top job in the kingdom because he was a really hard worker. And the other leaders there, they were super jealous of Daniel. But they couldn't find any fault with him. He was doing everything right, and so they tricked the king to pass this law that was against his religious beliefs. The law said no one could pray to anyone except the king. Now Daniel, he was a faithful man. He was a man of prayer, and he prayed 3 times a day, every day. And he knew about the new law, but he continued to pray to God. And the king, he really liked Daniel because Daniel was likable. He was a good worker. He was a great person. But when he found out that Daniel broke the law, he knew that he had to punish Daniel, which is kind of what happens when we break the rules too. And so even though the king loved him, just like our parents love us, when we break a rule, sometimes we have to be punished. But the king thought, I've been tricked into making this law. He really, really didn't want to hurt Daniel. He was hoping that Daniel's God would save him. But he ordered that Daniel was cast into the den of lions, and the king couldn't sleep all night, just hoping and praying that maybe Daniel would be safe. And so the first thing in the morning, he ran out and said, "Daniel!" And Daniel answered him. Daniel said, "My God sent angels to shut the mouth of the lions, so those big old teeth were closed. My God protected me." The king was so excited, so excited that Daniel was safe, that he actually came to believe in God. You see, Daniel reminds us that our actions, that what we do, that they can allow other people to know God and love God. Daniel stayed true to what he believed in. He prayed to God, even though he wasn't supposed to. And he reminds us to stand up for what we believe in, for what we know is right. He reminds us to pray to God, to be kind to others, to stand up for those that others pick on or bully. We want to be strong people of faith, just like Daniel. So let's put our hands together, and will you repeat after me? Dear God, thank you for Daniel's example. Help us to follow you, no matter what other people say. Amen.